let's talk about this fun action-packed novel, Black Samurai by Marc Olden. Hi, I'm Annie, and of course you know by now all about GarbAugust. If not, you can read all about it in the description box below. But there is the bingo card, and I will be talking about 2 prompts on the GarBingo card. I will first be making an X on the bingo card, and the next prompt is ninjas. But this novel, Black Samurai, also fits the vigilante prompt on the bingo card. So I'm killing 1 bird with 2 stones. No, 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, this is really an action-packed novel about this Black Samurai, which I found really entertaining. So there are 8 Black Samurai novels, but it's 1 story, 1 novel. So it's not 1 story in 8 novels. No, this first novel is just 1 complete story, which I always appreciate anyway. And in the first novel we get to know the American GI Robert Sand, who is on leave in Tokyo from fighting in the Vietnam War. And one evening he sees this frail old Japanese man, and he is being bullied by American soldiers. And as a black American, he knows what it's like to being bullied. So he decides to step in, but without any warning he is shot in the stomach and he passes out. And he is rescued. He was woke up in the hospital, and he is surprised to find out that the man who rescued him is none other than this frail looking old Japanese man. And who is this frail looking Japanese man? He is none other than the famous master Konuma. And he is the keeper of the ancient secrets of the samurai. And Sam becomes his newest pupil, which is really an honor because he is not Japanese. Samurais, and they have to be Japanese, but no, Konuma finds him. He sees that he has spunk and the right mindset, so he is turning him in this magnificent samurai. But we only learn this in the second chapter or so, because the chapters are being, how do you call it? There's 1 chapter in the present, 1 chapter explaining things from the past, but never in a boring way. It's always filled with action and stuff like that. But when the story goes on, we learn more about Sand's background and the connections he has with certain people and why he has these connections with certain people. But it's never info dumping or anything. No, it's really, I think Olden did a great job at writing this novel without info dumping. And in the first chapter we are thrown in the action, as there is this opening action scene where American soldiers, well, not soldiers, but mercenaries are attacking Konuma's dojo, killing Konuma and killing off every pupil Konuma has, and kidnapping the granddaughter of Konuma. But Sant survives this attack and he is on the run. And he is not only set out to revenge his master and his fellow students, he is also set out to rescuing the granddaughter of his master, Master Konuma. And these band of mercenaries are led by this American Colonel Leo Dmitri Tolstoy, who was a war criminal in the Vietnam War, and as he killed off everybody in a village in Vietnam, everybody, women, children, men, boys, dogs, cats, everybody, every living thing he just killed off. And he was being reprimanded for it by the American army. And he thinks this is this is unfair, and he is set out to revenge himself, and he is set out to bring the Vietnam War to America by planning to murder everybody in a city in America. But Robert Sant, he doesn't only have to rescue the granddaughter of Konuma, and he has to temper his feelings of revenge. He has to tread carefully, and of course he has to stay alive himself. He has to tread carefully because he has to learn which village this Colonel Tolstoy is targeting. And this is really an interesting intrigue. I found that Olden writes really a punchy, action-packed novel. There is never a dull moment in it. I can highly recommend it. I don't know much about samurais or their fighting technique, but Olden writes it in a way which is the fighting is easy to follow, even for me who doesn't know anything about these things. It is easy for me to visualize how this fighting is being done. The scenes are vividly described. Some of the scenes are really gruesome, but I find it never to be overdone, if you get what I mean. And it's always, the violence has always a connection to the importance of the telling of the story and the connection with the feelings of the characters in it. And there is some scenes are a bit over the top. I don't know about you, but when used sparingly, I can really appreciate this. But there are some melodramatic scenes in it, but not too much, so that was entertaining. Like, for example, this man is shot down in a burning building, and he looks up at the flames. He says, beautiful, and then he dies. How about that for poetic, well, justice? Well, he is a villain, but yeah, he is a mercenary, so it is some sort of, in a poetic way described anyway, and I enjoy that very much. Black Samurai was written back in 1974. Some of the language may cause offense, but that's the way people talked back in the 1970s, especially in blaxploitation, and well, that's just way it, and it's not that Olden looks down on black people. No, Olden was an African American himself, so he knew what it was like being called certain things in American society. And when Black Samurai was written, the blaxploitation was at its peak. It was really popular back in the 1970s. And there is even a Black Samurai movie made back in 1976, and it is very, very, very loosely based on the first novel, and from what I read on Wikipedia, it doesn't maintain very much of the actual story of the first novel. The movie, I looked it up on the Internet Movie Database, and it gets only a 4.7, so make of that what you will. But for me, I haven't watched the film, and I haven't time to track down that film and watch it at the moment. But for me, that doesn't hold me back to actually finding out if I like this film. Hey, I liked Queen Kong, and that gets 3.3 on the Internet Movie Database. I enjoyed it tremendously. How about you? Do you have movies which get a really low rating on the Internet Movie Database, or which you enjoyed very much? Anyway, I can highly recommend Black Samurai, the first novel anyway. Marc Olden did an excellent job at writing this action but gritty blaxploitation novel with loads and loads of action in it. Meanwhile, keep those pulp juices flowing, and I hope to see you in the next video.